Welcome everybody to the Nerd Table. I'm Mr. MK,
And I'm JV Fett.
where we talk about everything pop culture casually here on the Nerd Table. And on today's agenda is our humble collection of Star Wars collectibles. As you can see, my side of the table, I'm bringing mostly Funko Pops and Mandalorian based. Over here we have
Boba Fett. He in his Star Wars Black Series action figure form. We've got some retro 3 3/4, the vintage collection, some Lego, and some cool props like helmets.
right. And since you take part of the Boba Fett into your moniker for JV Fett, what about the
Yes.
character was it that drew you to it?
Oh, I love this character. His armor, definitely. First time I saw him on his first few appearances. His costume design, that color scheme with the green and the maroon. He's got this badass profession as a bounty hunter. You know, does whatever he wants. He had Darth Vader's respect. He was mysterious, you know. So another thing, he kept his helmet on this whole time. So
Right.
you didn't know who he was, and in a way, you know, you could play him and you could be him because no one knew what he actually looked like.
Right,
So
right.
another reason why I love cosplaying as him, because you know people didn't need to know what I had looked like, and
Right.
I was just this bounty hunter.
And it is kind of cool, like say, like compared to Mandalorian. You know, after he gets like all the Beskar upgrades, you know, he's just kind of shiny all over. You know,
Yeah.
like with Boba, you have like the
That
battle
damage.
you know,
Yeah,
it just adds
like
so
he's
much,
been through so much,
so
And
much
this-
character, right?
And this mysterious little dent in his helmet here is just like,
Right.
God, what's
And
this
it's just
guy's
so
story? Yeah,
Right, and it's just like so consistent, right? Like you see, like even like the Funkos have that, the Legos have that. Your other figures have all that.
Oh, yeah.
That dance. I like that. I really do like that helmet. You also have a Mandalorian, the Beskar helmet, don't you? Or is it just this one?
This one, and I recently got the
Bo-Katan one.
Bo-Katan,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Actually, no. I was wanting to buy the Mando one, right?
I want to get it as well, but you know, it's kind of...
Yeah, well, luckily, Mr. JV Fett over here saved me a lot of money because I tried on his Boba Fett, and clearly, if you have a larger head and a nice profile, it doesn't fit too great. So there's your honest review.
Yeah.
If you're gonna plan on wearing it, you might want to take those factors into consideration.
Yeah, definitely.
See, that's definitely cool. I like the figures, like I mentioned previously. You know, here more like on the Mandalorian centric, the Funko Pops. Funko Pops, man, they're just easy.
Yeah,
Right?
they are.
I mean, they're relatively cheap. Even these like Target, these were the Target exclusives. They were like I think like $30 retail, you know,
Yeah,
and
it's not bad.
and it wasn't too bad. $30 or $40, I can't remember. But I mean, I feel like the appeal with them was like you get these little Grogu ones and the regular size ones. I think for $10-15, I mean, you get like that representation of the fandoms.
Yeah.
So if you're not like an actual I consider anybody that has anything really a collector, right? I don't put like a minimal, quantity of collecting. But if you just have like in the office and you love the Mando show, you can just go pick it up real quick, spend $15, pop one of these guys on your desk, and you're good.
Yeah.
And it has so many different licensing all across the board. Now we were lucky enough that we got spoiled by Disney Plus to have the Mandalorian show, to have the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
What were your favorite things about the Book of Boba Fett?
Let's see. Well, it was great to see him back on the screen.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
I love like a good ensemble, right? Like,
Yeah.
So I like the whole team. Like I like the Avengers. You have the different
Yes.
characters, different strengths. Kind of like Fennec Shand was probably like one of my favorite additions to it. That was a lot of fun.
And
seeing
they
that.
also introduced I can't remember his name, the Wookiee, the black one.
Oh,
He was a really cool character that the show introduced, and I definitely want to see more of him.
Yeah. I remember seeing they did like an exclusive pop, and it was like flocked. And So that's kind of one of those ones that there's always something on the back burner, right? As a collector, that you're always looking to add to the collection.
Yeah.
I think the appeal for me in these shows is it kind of plays out like a western.
Ah, yes.
And I love a good western. There's always it's very defined. Like as much as I love suspense and like a psychological thriller, but like this is pretty cut and dry. Like
Yeah.
the bad guys, the good guys, or this is the mission, and like we were discussing a little bit earlier off camera, like with like Boba Fett, right? Like you can't say that they're necessarily good or bad. It depends what stance you take.
Yeah.
But they have their own mission, right?
Yes, I agree. That's exactly why he appealed to me so much, is because I couldn't really see myself as a Jedi, always good and virtuous and stuff, or being on the dark side and just being straight up evil. So it's like this Boba Fett character, as his bounty hunter profession goes, he calls his own shots. He takes the jobs he wants. He might like do the one good thing where like he's supposed to kill the kid, but he doesn't, and that's something he keeps to himself. But
right.
He gets paid, and then that's that. So it's just there's just so much that
Just a lot of character depth.
Character depth with him,
Yeah.
and
you know with the Mandalorian, you also have like that lone wolf and cub. Like so those of us that have like when we have kids and stuff like that, you feel like you would do anything for them and save them at all costs. You know, and kind of they kind of he has this creed of this that where he belongs, the Mandalorians and everything like that, and he has to deviate from that, and so it just adds that extra like monkey wrench into the whole grand scheme of things.
Yeah, and I think that's why the Mandalorian is just getting so much like praise, because it's very relatable. That the introduction of Grogu to this Mandalorian character has this mission to like just be this father figure. Is more so than we could say about Boba Fett. He has this mysterious way of him, but then that's it. And going back to the show, that was the one thing that a lot of the fans really wanted to see, was just him to continue his badass ways. But they thought, let's try to take a page maybe out of like the Mandalorian and humanize him a little bit more. It could have been better, to be honest. But I see what they were trying to do, and I'm not gonna bash it, but it wasn't what I expected. But being a Boba Fett fan, you gotta just love seeing your favorite character being like
it's
showing up.
I mean, I'm a Moon Knight fan. We have like the poster back there. You might see like a little bit of it. And I can't say it was a huge show. Like I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, but it's still great to see them on screen.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, like Grogu. I mean, if Marvel can do and Disney can do anything right, when it comes to like making the movies, they do a really good job of introducing like these cute little characters that every fan grows to love, even if you don't collect stuff. Like I know friends that just Baby Yoda, and they just think it's so cute. I mean, like look, I got these ones from Costco, these little squishmallows here, and everybody was eating them up, and I had to get them, and so they make it very very entertaining to draw in the masses, and so like with Mando, you have like that mysteriousness, you learn the character. Boba Fett was a little bit more difficult because you already have this established character and you're trying to make it for...
Yeah, and he said so little, so it's like...
You have an extra challenge because you're trying to bring in, retain this like old, like the, not older audience, but like the established audience.
Yes.
And new, and you have to kind of mix it. It's hard to tell the origin story and is kind of like rise to power all in one, but and hopefully we see more of them in the future. Now... I believe March 1st we're gonna get the 3rd season of The Mandalorian.
Oh, I'm excited.
It'd be great to see Boba Fett kind of come to his aid and kind of repay the favor.
That would actually be really cool. Because it's he's not gonna steal the show,
right?
So,
right.
But it would be great to see him them do a like team up,
Right. I think he'd also be just like a kind of like great kind of like a supporting character, right? Because that's kind of was his role. So when you have that supporting, you bring him to the forefront.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I think when they are a supporting character, you kind of make your own headcanon as far as like what they actually do and what they're capable of. But once you put them up front and center, like you're just open for so much scrutiny. But yeah, I'm excited. We're excited for the next season of Mandalorian. We should probably get together and review those and give our thoughts. But what we'll do next is we'll just kind of zoom in a little bit. We'll review what we have in front of us. Hopefully you can see a variety of what's out there. So if you're a casual collector, like we say, we're casual fans of different fandoms. Hopefully there's something out there for you. And like I said, everything on here fits in within different budgets. A lot of this stuff is relatively easy to get. and let's take a closer look.
All right, everyone. As mentioned earlier, here's a little close-up of our collectibles. These two guys right here were part of the Marvel Collector Core boxes that you can subscribe to or just order from Amazon. This the larger Mando and Grogu. They're both bobbleheads from Target. These are just some little Grogu commons that I got as gifts. And then coming back over here to these Boba Fett Funkos as well. Nothing too crazy, but you know, they're kind of cool. Coming back to JV Fett's.
Yeah, we're looking at the vintage collection Boba Fett in his colorway based off of the Droids cartoon that was in the 90s. I personally didn't watch the cartoon, but he looks really cool, so gotta have it. And that cool coin too. This one's the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Black Series Kenner inspired Boba Fett. It was one of the grails that I've been trying to find for a very long time. I wasn't able to go to the show, so I was glad I was able to get that. This one is the retro, not the OG one, but you know, it's good enough. It's a fun little toy. Here we got the this one is the vintage collection. Boba Fett based off his look in the show Book of Boba Fett. And then going over here is Funko Vans shoes. I guess it was an exclusive. Yeah, it was exclusive to the store. Really nice figure. I love that he's wearing Vans. It's just like I just made my favorite figure so much cooler.
Yeah, a little skateboard there.
That's probably, yeah, and the skateboard.
It's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, this is the Cobb Vanth Black Series.
Yeah, why don't you take off that helmet so you can show them how the...
Oh, yeah.
That's probably one of the really good likeness.
Yeah, the head sculpt is like just really good. He was pretty cool. He was like, he definitely made Boba Fett feel very Western, like we had mentioned earlier. And this helmet here is, I guess it's a Hasbro Pulse helmet. I had to imbue him by getting a helmet, and I wore it for Halloween this past year. Everyone loved it. I wore it to work.
I'm still salty. I can't fit it.
And then last but not least is the Legos helmet of Boba Fett, and they've got several other helmets of all these Star Wars characters. So
right, I'm sure that we'll be adding to the collection here as time passes, but as collectors can understand, there's always something to collect. So many cool things, such little time, such little money.
Thanks for joining us at the Nerd Table. I'm JV Fett.
I'm Mr. MK.
Drop a comment below. Let us know which one was your favorite and what do you love to collect.
As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please join us on the next installment of the Nerd Table, where we ask the question,
what are you bringing to the table?